Hello, this is Angela Lim, president of AFDMA, coming to you. I have one of our newly elected, well, re-elected directors at large, Mark Jamantoc, here with us to talk about his involvement with the AFDMA, why he's on the board, and
Thank you for having me.
passion for FDM. Yeah, of course. Welcome. Tell us about yourself and how you got into the FDM.
I am a physical therapist here in Bellingham, Washington. I have been in PT since 2002. I had an orthopedic background as a PT and sports. Took my orthopedic certification and finally settled and work in a clinic up in Northern Washington. What I have not really told that many people is that I was a chronic neck pain sufferer. So I had neck pain since I was in my early 20s, made worse by a car accident. And I've seen many, many practitioners. And as a PT myself, I've done all my exercises, I've done my stretches. I've seen chiropractors, PTs, acupuncturists, naturopathic physicians, and some would work a little bit and nothing lasting. And back in 2015, I was a director for a Therapeutic Associates Clinic in Oregon, and I met Matt Booth through that company. Matt Booth was practicing FDM then, and I got curious. I decided to take a module in Lake Oswego, Portland, Oregon, basically, and he treated my neck just based on the model for about maybe 6 or 7 minutes. And I had range of motion I had not had in 11 years. And
Wow.
that made a very big difference. And I thought, out of all the practitioners, no one has done it like this. And I started diving more into the model. And in 2019, I took the IC exam and become internationally certified in the model, which is recognized by the European and the Asian associations for FDM. And I started assisting, being a table trainer in several modules now, and it's been great. It's been fun, helping myself as well as helping others.
That's great. Everybody has their own story, and that just kind of goes to show how powerful the model is, because you had that pain for so long, and it took, I mean, I'm sure you needed a few more visits and some more treatments to get back to, no pain or very minimal pain, but just such a short treatment to provide that kind of relief is amazing.
I know. Honestly, I think it really did take about 1 or 2, and that's it.
It just seemed longer because it was painful.
You'll have some neck tightness, which is brought about by work or anything like that, but nothing quite as debilitating as before.
Right. That's amazing. So tell us a little bit more about, well, let's see. We did a module together at PNWU recently, and we had some interesting conversations about your take with possibly doing an advanced topic. And tell the AFDMA general membership about that, about the advanced topic idea that you have.
So again, before I discovered FDM, I was in orthopedics. My I guess, how would you call this? My passion or my interest lied in the neck and the shoulder region. So I've worked with athletes of all ages, and from different professions, occupations, from the office worker to the high school or middle school athlete. And overhead athletes have always fascinated me. I think the shoulder is probably one of the areas that I've had difficulty treating when I was even a younger therapist in our profession. And that's the region I started learning more because I found it difficult. And it was challenging to me that I wanted to learn more about it. And having found FDM and having great successes with a lot of different cases from neck and shoulder injuries, I feel, to contribute, my vision is to create an advanced course that would cater to these athletes, whether you're a weightlifter or um, a volleyball player,
Mhm.
CrossFitter, overhead athlete. So I would say, the modern overhead athlete from all of those different types of sports. I want to create a course that would cater to them, and hopefully it would be something a little bit more isolated and specific to those cases that can help clinicians make a more sound clinical decision, and help them get better faster, because a lot of these athletes want to get back on the field or the gym or the competition quicker, and FDM does have that ability to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. FDM really shines, according to Dr. Tapaldos, with like an acute ankle sprain. You always hear the stories about it, how quickly an acute ankle sprain can be fixed with FDM, but the shoulder, I think, is
Yeah.
another area where it really shines, because I've had so many cases of shoulder pain or frozen shoulder that have come across before I learned FDM that I didn't get much success with, but after, it made a huge difference. So I think that advanced topic is spot on. I think that would be a really successful course.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's something new, and
Yeah.
it's something that would probably be in its infancy stage and could grow.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of tough cases, what's the most dramatic kind of results that you've seen in a patient since you've been doing FDM? Tell us more about that.
I had a couple, you know, I have two in mind actually. One, um, and these are more recent patients, probably in the last year or so. Um, One patient was injured because of a major accident that severed his spine and made him a paraplegic. Um, he became wheelchair bound, and he was being seen by a different physical therapist who decided, why don't you try to see Mark, see if he can help your shoulder, because this guy who became a paraplegic and wheelchair bound, he decided to become a bodybuilder, and he decided to enter fitness competitions, the NPC wheelchair competition, and he could compete, but his shoulder was in a lot of pain. So they would look good on stage, but they were in extreme discomfort.
Mhm.
So I treated him with FDM, and I think more recently, I believe February, he just competed and won gold in his weight. So that, and then he says, I competed on stage, and this time I didn't have any pain on my shoulders and the neck, and he would always have those because of the tightness and just the inability to use the whole body because the legs just weren't working. So that's something, and I'm proud of him, and we have a picture together on our Instagram page because I was so proud of him. So I made him wear his medals. uh, the other patient I've seen that had a dramatic result was I think he was an office worker, and he gave up on just treating the left shoulder, and he was referred to me by uh, uh, someone I know locally, and his shoulder range of motion was only up to here, and he's had that range of motion since 1996. I said, well, let's try something, and he says, well, I've seen many therapists. I've seen everybody. I don't really know how you could help a shoulder issue that's been there since 96. And it took us one session, and he went from here to 180. And I
Uh,
think he still cannot believe it.
that's
It
insane.
really was mind-blowing that even shocked me, because I
Yeah.
just followed the model. And I've seen him for other things like the knee, and he always comes in and goes, look, still there.
Yeah.
It's And
Ah,
so, and that was a one-time thing, which I think was unforgettable for me because that's also not usual. I mean,
no,
that's not usual. I think that, yeah, I guess it's people could hear stories and dramatic stories in FDM, but that really was the most dramatic that I've seen.
that's I love that he shows you that he still has that range every time.
It has, yeah, since '96.
It sounds like he himself is also still quite surprised and pleased.
Right? Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, those stories are great. And it is anecdotal evidence, but it's still like evidence. Like we haven't been able to organize ourselves because there's so few of us like putting forth all this effort to do the research. But hopefully that'll be coming. We're yeah, hopefully more research is coming at
well,
the efficacy of FDM.
funding and all that. I mean, it takes
Right,
time and
right.
money.
And just having the resources and the right people that know how to put together a study, run a study, and get it published.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the research committee that we have and the head, Dr. Boucher. He's been amazing on that
Yeah.
committee. So just another
Well,
plug for the
there,
research contest.
there is a time element, right? Because FDM is
Yes,
still young. So
yes, it is. Absolutely. It's still young. It still hasn't quite reached like a critical mass of people knowing what it is and how to do it, and then also having the the resources and the staff and the time to do research studies on it. So, but
mhm.
it's coming. It's just slow. Big wheels turn slowly.
Right.
Anyway, if there's nothing else, I appreciate the time that you spent and
Of
the
course.
chance to talk to you and get this recorded. So
Yeah. Sounds
hopefully we'll
good.
get to teach another class together soon.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Definitely. Do more, do more teaching, and yeah,
Yeah.
sounds
Okay.
good. All
Great.
right. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much for having me. All right.